Clam bake, gonna have a clam bake. Clam bake, gonna have a clam bake. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the clam bake. Actually, we're gonna do some readings. Hi, I am Patrick. Welcome to my Monday night miniature readings. I am just getting set up as usual. I had kind of a busy day. I've actually been doing readings all day long. But I have special readings for all you guys. All right, so let me get organized, get grounded, light my candle. Clam bake, gonna have a clam bake. Clam bake, gonna have a clam bake. All right, so we are going to do some, I call them my miniature medicine card readings. And the deck I use is called the medicine cards. Each card has a different totem animal on it. And seeing as I've been doing readings all day, I'm going to smudge these. Every other Monday, I do readings down at Crescent Moon in Tacoma. If you're local, you can come see me every other Monday for a reading in person. And that is why when I started doing this, I was doing 6 cards. And that just got to be too much, especially when I've been reading all day long. So we took it down to 3 cards, and your job is to choose a number between 1 and 3. Or you can choose 2 numbers or 3 numbers, whatever your little heart desires, because it is an abundant universe and you are unlimited. Thank you. My sexy assistant just took away the smudge stick so that it wasn't interfering with the video. Kelvin, I'm only pulling 3 cards. So I'm choosing out between 1 and 3. And so I'm going to pull 3 cards and have them laid out on the table here, and then whichever card applies, whichever card corresponds with your number that you chose, that is your guidance for the week. And that's why I started doing this on Mondays, because I figured Monday is a good day to get a little bit of guidance to carry us through the week, find out. Good. Number 3. All right, Kelvin, cool. Kelvin is asking me what my spirit name is. I actually have a bunch of spirit names, depending on, it seems like every time I go through, well, not every time, but there's been different points of transition, like different periods in my life, I guess you could say. Originally my spirit name, my first spirit name was Perching Wolf, which is the name of my business still, Perching Wolf Studios. And that came from a dream. And Wolf appeared in my dream, and I actually saw myself running down this dry riverbed, and the wolves, I could hear them behind me. The wolves were running after me, trying to get me, and I was afraid. I'm running down this dry riverbed, and then I'm scrambling. I saw a tree, and I scrambled up the bank of the riverbed, climbed up the tree where I thought I was safe. Oh, Kit Kat. One moment, my cat has found a string. No, Kit Kat. That's not for you. Sorry for the interruption.
Crazy cat.
Oh, that's beautiful, Kelvin. Yeah, so I shinnied up this tree, thought I was safe, but I like relaxed against the trunk of the tree, can't even close my eyes and breathe a sigh of relief. And the next thing I knew, I felt the branch I was sitting on kind of give a little bit. And I was like, oh crap. And I opened my eyes in the dream, and there in front of me on a fork on the branch was a wolf in the tree, up high in the tree. And I was kind of freaked out and scared, and he said, "We are always with you." And so I was given the name Perching Wolf. And then when I was on my vision quest a number of years ago, the last night of the quest I spent in the sweat lodge, where I almost died of hypothermia. It was so cold, and I was sure I was gonna die. Which was kind of okay with me, because it's kind of like, this is a vision quest. You're not assured to actually survive. It's an initiation. And I was like, if this is my time to go, then this is how I want to go. So I actually was able to survive the night. I found a way to be able to kind of move up out of my body. So I was floating around up here somewhere. I was still aware of the cold, but I was kind of up away from it. And then as soon as the sun started to rise, I could feel the temperature in the sweat lodge change. It kind of started to warm up, and I could breathe a little bit more. And as I was breathing back into my body, I heard this chanting. And I'm like, who's chanting? Where's this music coming from? And I looked over, and the chanting was coming from the stones, the grandfather stones in the middle of the lodge. The stones were chanting for me. And as I listened to the chanting, I heard someone whisper in my ear, "Speaks his heart." And that became my name, my spirit name then. So, Speaks his heart. Oh, wow. You guys are distracting me from doing the readings, but I don't normally respond to the actual comments on here, but this is awesome. Thank you. But anyway, so Speaks his heart became a spirit name. And then just recently, like the last year or so, I did a session with another shaman friend of mine, and she said, "You have a new name. You just have to go claim it." And so I did a little personal retreat at a friend has a cabin over on the peninsula in the woods. And so I went over there, spent a few days by myself doing ceremony and praying. And I was doing pipe ceremony the last evening that I was there, and I was actually feeling really low and really disheartened because of some other things that had happened during the week, and that just kind of like, oh my God, maybe I'm not good enough to be doing this stuff. Who am I to be doing this work? And I sat down and started doing pipe ceremony, asking for my name. And as I'm sitting down, there was an eagle cried. And it was like, right, exactly, we were given those names. And so this eagle cried as I'm sitting down to do pipe ceremony, and it's like, okay, wow, that's significant. And I didn't see the eagle, I didn't hear the eagle, other than that one moment as I was sitting down to do pipe. And so I started doing pipe. I'm asking, what is my name? What name are you giving me? What is my new name? And I'm all anxious and nervous about, you know, with the name, you know, like great power comes great responsibility, right? And so I'm like, oh no, what's my name? You know, because it's kind of almost like an assignment. Like, what responsibility am I going to have to take on now? And White Buffalo Calf Woman came to me and reassured me that, no, this name is yours. It's been given to you because of what you have done. You already have earned the name. It's not something you have to grow into. So that made me feel better. And so I'm praying, I'm doing pipe, asking, what is my name? What is my name? And all of a sudden in my head, I heard Wind Buffalo. And no crap, boom, a single boom of thunder. There was no lightning. It was raining maybe a little bit. No other thunder before or after, just boom right at that moment. Hi, love. Bye, love. I love you. I love you too. Thank you. My fiance is leaving. So anyway, so that is my latest spirit name, is Wind Buffalo. Kelvin, we should like get together sometime, like a Zoom call or something. I would love to talk with you. I'd love to find out more about your path and stuff. So, but bye, love.
I gotta make 2 trips.
Okay. But anyway, so those are my spirit names. Perching Wolf speaks his heart, Wind Buffalo. And the interesting thing about my latest name, Wind Buffalo, is that I realized that, well, there's some deeper stuff that I'm not at liberty to share at the moment, because there's still some things in the work that I need to keep to myself that I'm working on. But Wind Buffalo, the wind is, I was made to understand, is not only wind out here, and expanding my range of influence, you know, helping people, helping more people, teaching more people, healing more people or whatever, but that the wind referred to the internet. It was like I had just started doing, well, I've been doing this for a little while, doing readings over the internet, doing live, and doing my pipe ceremony live on Facebook. And so it was like bringing the buffalo medicine through the wind of the internet, taking it to all corners of the world, etc. So anyway, so thank you, Kelvin, for asking. I don't talk about that kind of stuff very often, but so, and there's more to come from Wind Buffalo. And just the other day, if you don't mind me chattering, I was doing pipe ceremony and White Buffalo Calf woman, I asked her a question and she answered me and she called me Wind Bear. And I'm like, Wind Bear? I thought my name was Wind Buffalo. And she's like, it is. I'm like, well, where does Wind Bear come from? And she was like, that's an inherited name. It was like a past life. That was my name in a past life, was Wind Bear. So I still have lots of questions and lots of adventure and lots of exciting things to explore. So that's what makes life worth living, is all that excitement and the adventure and the learning and exploring. I love. So anyways, how about we do some readings? You know, that's why you're all here. So anyway, so I'm going to pull 3 cards. You choose a number 1 through 3, or 2 or 3 cards. And whichever card corresponds to your number is your reading for the week. That tells you which totem animal is volunteering to follow you through your week. That's our first card. And okay. And lend you their medicine and strength. Okay. So our first card of the evening, we have Bat. Bat is about rebirth. Bat is, in terms of like the tarot deck, Bat is similar to the Tower card. It's kind of like the breaking apart of the old ways of doing things, and like all the things you thought you knew are now shaky, like you don't have solid ground to stand on, right? And so like the bat, the only place to root, the only place to ground is the ceiling of the cave. So it's like the only way to root is root into spirit, root with creator, because everything else is temporary, everything else is falling away, and there's no solid ground yet to stand on. And so it's finding that perspective, you know, having everything in your world turn upside down, looking at your world from that higher perspective, upside down, realizing the temporary nature of all the things in our world and how we are the only constant, right? And it's also the rebirth, because Bat lives in the cave, right? And the cave is the womb of the Earth Mother. So it's like returning into the womb to be reborn. And in the womb, this came up for someone today when I was doing readings, and it's like our society, we're taught to be afraid of the dark, right? And we're taught that bad things, evil things exist in the dark, and so we're afraid of the dark. And so when we have to go into the dark, we get freaked out, we get scared, we don't know what's going on. But when things are shaking up and you're in the dark, you are actually safer than you normally are, because you are in the womb. You are being held in love by the mother, right? You're safer in the womb than you are anywhere else. So it's about letting go of that, whatever is shaking up, whatever is falling away, let it go. Just continue to align upward, align with spirit. Remind yourself that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, that in your nature you are spirit, and let the physical rearrange itself, or the emotional, or whatever, The other thing, if that's your card this week, pay attention to your intuition. When we go into the dark, like Bat, Bat is virtually blind, right? And can't see in the dark, so they depend on sonar location. So metaphorically, that's like reaching out with our feelings. Because you're in the dark, because you don't know what's going on, because the only way, the only connection, the only solid reality is that of spirit, we have to rely on our more spiritual senses, our intuition, our heart, to tell us what's the right direction to go, because we can't see the signpost in front of us. Not that you should be doing a lot or moving a lot during this period. Just like being in the womb, if that's your card, if you're in this time of darkness and confusion, not knowing what's happening, everything is kind of falling apart, it's usually time to rest. Let things sort themselves out. You are not in charge. Your only job in the dark is to dream, to sleep, to rest. And that's where the rebirth thing comes into play, because every possible reality, every possible future exists in the dark, right? And so when it comes to that time for us to be reborn, to come out of the womb, come out of the cave into daylight, we get to choose which of those realities we pull with us into the light. What life we manifest in the light of day. So, number one, if that resonates with what's going on with you right now, Bat is coming along to remind you that there is purpose in all of it. It's not just random. It's not just, the gods taking pot shots at you, throwing you rocks at you or whatever. That there is purpose in this, and that in a way, you are leveling up, right? You earned your way to the farthest reaches of your reality, and so you have to go into the darkness, back into the womb, to be born into the next level. And so you have to go into the dark to dream, to rest, to regather your strength, regather your vision, to be able to move to the next level, right? So know that things that are happening in your life, it's not just a random thing. It's not just happening, out of the blue, that it's actually a good thing, because if things are falling apart, if things are leaving your life, it's because there's better things moving into your life that are pushing those out. But those have to clear out before the better things can come in. Just like, was it Euripides who sat in the bathtub and the water kind of got pushed out of the tub, and he was like, "Eureka!" Ran through the streets naked, yelling, "Eureka!" because he discovered mass and volume just in sitting in the tub. And it's that same thing. As the bigger, better things move in, it's going to push all the other stuff that no longer fits you out of the way. And that is part of the point too. If something is leaving, if something is falling apart in your life, it's either being reconfigured or it's being let go because it no longer suits you. It no longer feeds the frequency that you're at. You're going through all these changes and this growth. You're raising your frequency. And so the outside world has to change to match that frequency that you are at. And so friendships and relationships end. We lose jobs, we lose cars. I won't go into the whole story, but a couple nights ago we totaled my fiance's car, and it's just been this kind of this would have been my card, because we were going through this whole initiation, like, why did that happen, like, what the, it was just total blindsided, like, why, and so we're like having to move into this place of grace where we just allow the good to come. And she started calling the insurance and all this stuff, and it's like boom, 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 boom. All these different things are falling into place. Not only that, out of the blue, last night, a dear friend of ours texted us and said, hey, I've had this car that I've had sitting around for a while. I bought a new car. I was just waiting to figure out who to give this car to. So here you go. Okay, I'm going to start tearing up. So when the bad things happen, when the darkness descends, when things are confusing and stormy, that's the time to come into the darkness and to dream about what you want to find. It's the time to trust Creator, anchor into the spirit rather than into the earth, and trust that there is a bigger plan in place, that things would not be falling apart, falling away, unless there was something bigger pushing their way in. So my heart is with you if that is your card, because I know the challenges and the difficulties that come with that. But know that you are safe, know that you are taken care of, and know that things are falling into place. Okay? So, I also love that the number on that is 42, which is the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything. So, all right, number 2. If 2 is your card, you got Snake. Snake is a very complex critter. Where do I start? The main thing about Snake is, the two main things about Snake is shedding the old skin, all those things I was just talking about with Bat, like all the things. The spiritual journey is not about acquiring new things, putting on new layers. It's about peeling the layers that have already been put on us, right? And so like Snake shedding its skin, you're outgrowing those old realities. Your old thoughts, your old beliefs can no longer contain you. So you are literally outgrowing them. And that is why parts of your life are falling apart, shredding, because you literally outgrew that. You are no longer that person, right? So many parallels with Bat, because when the snake is shedding, his eyes are part of the skin that gets shedded. So when the snake is shedding and that skin is coming loose, the snake is literally blind. The snake is in the dark, just like that. And so it becomes this time, again, to hunker down, do self-care, go underground if you need to, like Snake, and rest. And it's a time of fostering your faith in the universe, being faced with the darkness, not knowing what lies ahead, but seeing the darkness as the great mystery rather than some doom and gloom. Like I said with Bat, it's like all possible realities and futures exist in that dark. And so it's a way of trusting the universe, knowing that the universe is a friendly place and that it works with you and for you on your behalf. So whatever changes are taking place, again, like I said with Bat, it all has a purpose. The old skin doesn't fit you anymore. You can try to put it back on, duct tape it, whatever, but it's not going to work. It's not who you are anymore. You're completely different. And so it's letting that shed. Again, it's a very uncomfortable time. When they're shedding the skin, it's all dry, right? Just like when you have dry skin or a scab or something and it itches, think about your entire body, like the entire surface layer of your skin coming loose and peeling off, and like that itchiness and discomfort. That is the sign of change. We must go through some sort of discomfort when we are changing, because we are going into the new. And it's that discomfort, that itchiness, that gets the snake to scrape against trees and rocks and whatever to get that skin off, right? And so it's the discomfort, it's the itchiness, the anxiety or whatever, that prickly, anxious kind of like, I gotta change, this is not right, I need to change, is the impetus, the catalyst for us to shed that skin so we can breathe again, because that old skin gets so restrictive and keeps binding us. And so many of us try to go back into that and live in that place and wonder why our world doesn't feel comfortable anymore, why we're always upset or always anxious. And it's because all that energy that should be guiding us outward, expanding us into bigger and better territory, is going toward trying to contain us within that old skin. And I'm speaking from experience. It's like all that energy that should be expanding is like coming in. And so it's bouncing off each other and all prickly. And it's just beyond uncomfortable. I have been through a long period of time in my life with anxiety and extreme panic attacks and stuff. So I know. And I would not that I have enemies, but I would not wish that on anybody. But if that is what's going on, know that the itchiness for something new, the confinement, the feeling, if you're feeling confined, if you're feeling restrained, it's not that the universe is pushing in on you. It's that you are pushing out against the old skin of you. Does that make sense? When pressure comes from the outside, that's when there's destruction and death. But when pressure comes from the inside out, that's when you emerge from the egg, when the seed grows out of the seed casing. So recognize that energy as pushing outward, expanding beyond the skin of what you knew before. And it can be scary. It's dark. You don't know what's ahead of you because you haven't experienced it yet. But that's where that level of excitement comes in, and adventure. Because it doesn't, like, the discomfort doesn't have to be, this is going to sound weird, but it's like getting comfortable with the discomfort, recognizing the discomfort as a harbinger of change, recognizing that, oh, I'm uneasy, I'm not comfortable here. That means I'm changing. That means there's something cool coming along. And so to remind yourself whenever you feel that discomfort, like I had a teacher who channeled way back when, and she did a channeling session with us just to show us what it looked like and how it felt. And so we each got to ask a question of this being that she channeled. And at the time, I'm in the psychic development class. I'm expanding. I'm learning new things. It's exciting. At the same time, my stomach was a mess. I was like just queasy and nauseous and just feeling worthless. And so that was my question. I asked, why am I feeling like this? I know this isn't true. I know this is not based in reality. Why am I feeling so crappy, about everything, about myself? And what the Spirit told me was, you forget that this is how you always feel before you make a great leap forward. So that feeling of discomfort, that feeling of low energy or feeling kind of worthless, that is the effort of drawing back the arrow so you can let it go and zoom, head forward. Even think about a cat, how they rear back on their feet before they leap, right? The discomfort, that lull, that low energy is that kind of winding back that spring, getting ready to let it go. And the point is too that, like with the arrow, you don't push the arrow down the field. You let it go, and it carries itself. The string, the bow, shoom, carries that arrow where it's going. So the effort comes in drawing it back. The effort comes in the peeling off of the layers. And once that skin is done, once you release that skin, boom, that arrow flies and you expand forward. Does that make sense? So the other aspect of snake medicine that might apply is transmutation, like alchemy. The whole Philosopher's Stone thing about changing lead into gold, changing base metals into gold. Not just transforming, not just the form changing, but the molecular atomic makeup of that thing changing to something else. And where that comes from with snake is the fact that the antidote, the medicine for snake bite, comes from the snake's venom itself. Like the venom is the seed of the medicine. And so it's about, as the skin is shedding off your back, as these things are peeling away from you, is looking back on those things, looking back on your life, seeing those places in your life where there were like dips in the road or potholes, regrets, things you wish you had done, things you wish you hadn't done, whatever those things are, those are like little snake bites, right? Well, those snake bites, the venom, you can transmute that venom into medicine that will fill in those potholes, where you realize that every experience came with the gift of experience. Every choice was a lesson, and now that you've learned that lesson, that becomes solid ground to stand on, to reach for your future, because you've made that choice before, you got results, you either liked the results or you didn't like the results. There is no good or evil kind of thing. It's like you either liked them, they were either beneficial to you, or they took away from you. And if they added to you, if they took away from you, like you regret something, then it's time to look at that experience and see what the gift is, and realize that the seed of that, the snake's venom in that situation, if it was fear, whatever it was, like fear is the seed of courage. And so by living through that experience, surviving that experience, seeing the result of that choice, you never have to make that choice again. That is wisdom. Wisdom comes from making mistakes. Wisdom comes from making mistakes. The people who have the hardest lives tend to be the wisest people, right? The people that have to deal with crap, day in and day out, Those are the people who tend to have more wisdom, more compassion, because they've been through all that. All of those choices gave them a gift of learning, of knowing what results come from this plus that, and so they have wisdom to give. That's you looking back on your life, taking only the wisdom, letting go of the guilt or the shame, and taking the gift from that snake bite, turning it into medicine to be able to step forward in strength and not only help yourself, but help others who are going through some of the similar experiences, because you are a living display of how to get through that and how to turn that. You're the alchemist. You turn that lead into gold. So, kind of like, I wish I remembered the name. There's an art form in Japan. Starts with a K, where if like a ceramic pot breaks, they don't just throw it away. They glue it back together, but they glue it back together with gold, so that every crack, every break in that pot not only fits back together, but it shines. And they believe that golden, like that thread of gold from those cracks brings that pot even more beauty. And so it's like, fill in those potholes, those cracks where your heartbreak was, whatever. Bring it back together with gold. Let those parts shine, because those are the parts that you were breaking out of the egg, that you were growing past that seed casing. And those places deserve to be highlighted, because that is where you gained your strength. That is where you gained your wisdom. Never be sorry about anything you have decided or chosen in your life. Everything was for a purpose. Everything had a result. Everything has gotten you further on your path. My upper world spirit teacher reminds me that your spiritual pedometer does not have a reverse. Every step is a step forward. So give yourself a break. Look back on your past with love, knowing that you are not that person anymore. You made the best decisions with the information you had at that time. And now that you're past it, you have a bigger picture, a bigger wisdom, and you are no longer that person. You are a whole brand new person. And that experience helped to create the person you are now, with more wisdom and presence and compassion. Okay? All right. Number 3. We have Jaguar. Jaguar medicine is about integrity. Jaguar, like all cats, they're like royalty, right? I always think of Jaguar as being the queen of the jungle. She's an apex predator. She doesn't need to ask permission to do anything. She's a leader. She follows her heart. And because of that, she is, being the queen of the jungle doesn't mean she's at the peak of the pyramid. It means that her responsibility, everything she does, affects the whole. It's not a pyramid. It's the circle. The balance of life, the circle of life. And so when she lives from her heart, makes choices from her heart, answers the calling of her heart, she knows that is automatically the best for the whole. And so there are no pretenses, there's no putting on airs, there's no ego image trying to present something that's not true. It's like you meet Jaguar, you know exactly who it is and what you can expect, right? And with that integrity, with that authenticity, no one like I said, you're apex predator. You're the top. You're there is no top when we're talking about the circle of life, but even the ape, I'm going to have to figure out how to reword that at some point, but being the jaguar, she's like the matriarch of that circle. So when she answers the call to be herself, to do the things her heart calls for, it automatically ripples through the entire environment. By taking care of herself, she takes care of all beings. And so that is true for you, to remember that you are important. You are worthwhile. You are worthwhile. You are worth you are, how do I put it in words? You are worth taking care of. Who you are matters. What you bring to this world matters. You are not just an afterthought. You are an integral part of the universe, an integral part of this world. And if you were not here, it would be a completely different world. But you bring that unique frequency to the world. That is your gift to the world. That is part of the puzzle. And without that, the world would be worse off for missing that, lacking that vibe. So it's like you owe it to the world to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be, to be authentic, transparent, to be honest, to live your life without pretense. And when you act from that authenticity, you're going to intimidate people, number one, because you're going to be walking in your power. And if a jaguar walks up next to you, you're not just going to be, oh, hey. Well, unless I might say, oh, hey, and try to pet it. But anyway, I'm not normal. But anyway, jaguar carries that energy with her, that you meet her and it's like you're automatically brought into the present, right? Because that's an interesting, I'm trying to speak this stream of thought coming through, and every once in a while I have to stop, I'm not sure how that fits together, but she's authentic, so you know what to expect, you know who she is, and kind of in a paradoxical, ironic kind of way, that adds to her unpredictability, right? You know what she's capable of, but you don't know what her next move is. And so that forces the person meeting Jaguar to be fully present. So actually just your presence, being in your power, even if you intimidate people, that is a gift to them, because it pulls them into the present, because they don't know what to expect. They just know they have to be careful, or they need to. Your authenticity makes them realize they have to be authentic in return, or you're going to bite their head off, right? And so there's this interesting interplay of hardness and softness. You've got the claws and the teeth and the roar, but you're also a cat. You love cuddling, and cats are so sensual, so sensuous. Every hair is a whisker, and they are that in tune with their environment. As they move gracefully through their world, it's like making love to the world that they're walking through. They are so in tune with it. And because they have those boundaries, they have the claws, they can roar, they communicate their boundaries with no pretenses, no ulterior motives, just, this is who I am, this is my boundary, you cross this boundary, you get your head bitten off. And if you respect those boundaries, perhaps she will let you in closer, right? So that you can feel the soft hair on her head or whatever, you know. But there is that softness and hardness again. And it's that hardness, the boundaries, that help to maintain the softer essence of her. Because she doesn't have to spend any energy trying to be something she's not, she can be authentic. And when you're authentic, it's only those things, those places in ourselves that we kind of hide from ourselves, that we pretend away, pretend they don't exist. We consider them weaknesses, so we try to hide them from the world. But those are the shadow places where others can get their claws into. If you are transparent and you have nothing to hide, then there's no one can blackmail you, right? There's no scandal, there's no blackmail material, because you are absolutely authentic. You are who you say you are. And the only place that people can get their claws into are the places where you don't accept yourself, where you're not being authentic. And like I said, when you're authentic, you carry yourself with that power, that confidence, that courage, that fierceness. You bring that up in the people around you, everyone you meet. And so the best thing you can do for the world is be the best version of yourself. Take care of yourself. Know that you are worthy to excel. That like Snake, casting off those expectations that we have been buried under all our lives, from society, from teachers, from parents, from religions, whatever, and casting off all those layers to who we really are. Answering that call of the heart, the passion, the desire that we have. You know, we're born into this world with desires, with passions, those things that just light us up, that we freak out about, that we geek out about. And it's like, that is your compass of which direction to go in. And so that strength to cast off the old snake skin and be like Jaguar, follow your heart towards those passions, to be the huntress and hunt down those feelings of joy, to the feelings of bliss, like Joseph Campbell talking about following your bliss. Be that on fire, like cat, like Jaguar. It's like that fire, like stalking the jungle, stalking that bliss, knowing that you deserve that. Why wouldn't you be? You have that desire in your heart, that passion in your heart. And so that passion is calling you. You know, that what you are seeking in life is seeking you. That passion, that longing, that yearning for something means that it is out there and you deserve to have it. Otherwise you wouldn't feel that yearning, right? So be authentic. Step into your integrity. Know that you are worthy, and that you are the royalty of your life. You are the king or the queen. You are in charge of your life, and you need take no guff from nobody. All right? So those are the 3 cards for this week. I don't know how I did that in under an hour, especially with the gabbing I did at the beginning, but those are our cards. So number 1, bat. Number 2, snake. And number 3, Jaguar. So I'm not going to go back over them because I'll start throwing new things in there, and then we'll be here for a whole nother hour. But if you want to see again what what those are, go ahead. You can rewatch this. I'll post this video to my Facebook page, Perching Wolf Studios Facebook page, and I also upload them to my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, Perching Wolf Studios. So go up on that, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and follow my Facebook page, and then you can, this will always be available either on my page or in the YouTube videos, so that you can look back during the week if you forgot which number you chose, which animal is walking with you this week. You feel free to go back and watch the video again to see who it was and what their medicine, is for you. And if you need if something else happens during the week and you need a little bit of guidance in a different direction, go ahead and choose a different number, rewatch the video, and see what medicine that animal has for you. And if you want to go back on my YouTube channel and just choose one of the mini medicine card reading Mondays. I just butchered that whole thing. But just choose one of those and choose a number and watch and see what it comes up. So it's like this resource that is always there for you. And if you enjoyed this, please share this video. Feel free to share. Invite your friends. Do this every week, 7:30. And then I also have a sacred pipe ceremony I do on Wednesday evenings at 7 here live on Facebook. Join us that night if you would like. And remember that we are in some very unprecedented, weird, confusing times. We're all kind of going through that dark night of the soul of Bat, having everything shook up, and there's nothing to do but go inward. Nothing to hold on to but ourselves and our connection to spirit. And so through that darkness, I am here to support you. I am here to guide you through a card reading. If that calls to you, let me know. Contact me. We'll set up a session for a personal reading where you get actually 5 or more cards, all focused on you, not in a general way like this. And let me know. Check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and see what other shamanic services I offer. See if any of those things resonate with you. If any of those call to you, different healing, soul retrievals, etc. And even if you just feel pulled, if you don't know what it is you need, but you want to talk with me, we can totally do that too. If you just need a shamanic point of view, or you want me to do a shamanic journey to my guides, to your guides, to get insights on what's going on, what you need to know, whatever, we can do that too. I am here as a resource, as a support for my community, and I am so grateful for my community that supports me as well. So it's a two-way street. It's the circle of life, and I am so appreciative of everyone who continues to watch this. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. Please come back. Thank you so much. I say this every week, but this is one of the highlights of my week. I really look forward to this every time. So I love sharing this part of me with you. This is part of my geek flag. And so this is following my bliss, my passion, as a living example of what I was talking about tonight. So follow your bliss, live your passion. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing that is more powerful than you are. That connection to spirit is more powerful than anything that you will face in this world. So take that, connect with your animal this week, whichever one connected with you. call on them for help if you need to. And I will see you, if not Wednesday night, then next Monday. All right? So have a wonderful, wonderful week. Until next time, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Go shining. Bye.